The Leviathan only appears a few times in the Bible, but many biblical scholars consider it to be a giant beast. This time, I would like to consider what exactly this mysterious creature, the Leviathan, is.
In the book of Job, Leviathan appears as a warning presence to Job. Chapter 41 describes Leviathan. Leviathan's strength is depicted as a sea monster. In Genesis chapter 12:1, it is written that God created the sea monsters according to their kinds. Leviathan is also described as a serpent and seems to be a long creature like a dragon. On land, there exists a similar giant creature, known in English as behemoth, pronounced as behemoth in the original language. Considered by God as one of his first creations, God boasts about this animal to Job. In Japanese translation, behemoth is translated as hippopotamus, and Leviathan is translated as crocodile.
I think it's difficult to translate behemoth as a hippopotamus. Just like translating Leviathan as a crocodile, trying to match existing animals with translations would be quite a stretch. If we're going to keep Leviathan's name as it is, I think it's fine to keep behemoth's name the same way.
In Hebrew, behemoth means beast. In the book of Job, behemoth is considered by God as one of his first creations. This animal is described as the first creature, robust, and when the Creator himself approaches with a sword. Other animals are said to gather around behemoth, playing near it. Because it is herbivorous, its gentle nature is implied. And it is further said to be undisturbed by the waters of the Jordan River, indicating it could inhabit both water and land. Behemoth is testified by the Lord himself as the first beast that God made.
Throughout history, painters depicting behemoth have left behind images resembling hippos or elephants. But the true identity of behemoth remains unknown.
Leviathan, a sea creature, is said to refer to the sea monster mentioned in the book of Revelation. Some scholars also point out that it may refer to dinosaurs. In the book of Job, it is written that nothing on earth is its equal, a creature without fear. If it has no fear, it would behave recklessly, making arbitrary decisions and acting as it pleases. Fortunately, humans were not made this way. However, it is testified that Leviathan was created by God. Though the reason is unclear, one can imagine it being the opponent in the final battle to come. If, as described, it breathes fire from its mouth, and its surface is like hard armor, then no one would stand a chance against it. Humans, of course, would not be a match, and if Leviathan were to truly rampage on the earth, humanity might easily succumb and be dominated by it. However, the fact that such a thing has not happened until now is because Leviathan is also a creation of the Lord and was made according to some divine plan.
Some scholars seem to think that Leviathan refers to Satan. But whether Leviathan is the incarnation of Satan is uncertain. However, having no fear and having no remorse are the same thing.
The Rahab mentioned in Isaiah is pronounced the same as the woman, Rachel, who sheltered spies during Joshua's time, but they are different entities. Even in English translation, it's not distinguished, but the woman's name, Rahab, means to spread or to have breath. The Rahab mentioned here seems to refer to something like chatzab, meaning to chop or slice. The dragon in Hebrew is called Tannin, and in the beginning of Genesis, there's a mention of a sea monster created in the sea, and the word used at that time is Tannin. Also, in the book of Job, it is written, "By his power he churned up the sea. By his wisdom he cut Rahab to pieces." Job 26:12, indicating that Rahab is a sea creature. Many biblical scholars seem to equate Rahab with Leviathan, because there is a passage in the same prophecy of Isaiah where both sea and dragon are mentioned, with one being referred to as Leviathan and the other as Rahab.
At the end of the 1,000-year kingdom, the final battle takes place, and Satan, the dragon, is thrown into a lake of fire and sulfur.
In Job chapter 41, Leviathan is described in detail as being large and fiercely untamable by humans. The largest creature known in modern times is said to be the blue whale. It can reach lengths of up to 40 meters, equivalent to the size of an 11-story building. However, the blue whale doesn't breathe fire from its mouth or emit smoke from its nostrils. Could there be creatures even larger and more ferocious lurking in the depths of the sea? Genesis tells us that from the beginning of creation, there were sea monsters. Genesis 12:1. There is nothing that is not created by God. Only robots can be made by humans. And God has the authority to destroy all things. Leviathan has tough skin that cannot be pierced even by swords or spears. Some opinions suggest that Leviathan could be a crocodile. If we consider an age where there were no weapons capable of capturing or controlling such creatures, even today, large animals like lions, bears, and crocodiles on the earth would fit the description in the book of Job. However, when it comes to breathing fire, it becomes a creature beyond measure. If asked to give an example of something like Leviathan, one might mention the Japanese movie monster Godzilla. By the way, the creator of Godzilla, Eiji Tsuburaya, was a Catholic Christian, and his tombstone is engraved with a cross. Whether he created Godzilla inspired by the Bible is unknown, but the image of a rampaging creature, unaffected by human intervention, overlaps with the Leviathan in the book of Job. However, the Bible states, "Nothing on earth is its equal, a creature without fear." And having no fear signifies the nature of Satan. In Revelation, Satan appears in the form of a dragon. Revelation 12:9.
Many people believe that Leviathan might refer to a dragon. And the basis for this belief lies in the words of Revelation. If Leviathan is indeed a dragon, it will inevitably appear in the end times and receive punishment from God.
Leviathan also appears in Psalm 74. The image of God that Asaph portrays is similar to that in Job. Job also mentions dragons or Leviathan, illustrating how powerful God is. Even things as mundane as the rising sun and the moon illuminating the night cannot occur without the Lord's decree. No behemoth on earth can rampage before the Lord. Despite controlling all the workings of nature, why does he allow his sanctuary to be defiled without taking action? Asaph's questioning of the Lord is, in a sense, a cry of anguish. Even though one knows that God's power is absolute, witnessing the temple being burned and reduced to ruins might prompt one to wonder how long the Lord will tolerate such outrage. While it is said that the Lord will rise and pass judgment in the end times, if one were to witness an impossible reality unfolding before their eyes, it's not just Asaph who might wonder why the Lord doesn't take immediate action.
Asaph believes in praising the Lord even in such times.
Leviathan also appears in Isaiah 27. Some people consider Leviathan as Assyria and the sea monster as Egypt. This connection is made from the names Assyria and Egypt mentioned in Isaiah 27:13. But it's uncertain whether it's true or not. The Isaiah Apocalypse, which continues from Isaiah 24, ends in chapter 27. And from chapter 28, the narrative changes to a more lyrical tone. In other words, chapter 27 marks the end of the Isaiah Apocalypse. And could Leviathan be that dragon that appears at the end of the world? Revelation 22. The content of the prophecy written 2,700 years ago from the book of Revelation by John unfolds in a similar manner.
From the Old Testament to the New Testament, what the Lord is truly planning is written. Currently, not everything has been revealed, but the existence of Leviathan proves the existence of the Lord.
Many people believe that Leviathan might refer to a dragon. And the basis for this belief lies in the words of Revelation. If Leviathan is indeed a dragon, it will inevitably appear in the end times and receive punishment from God. That concludes the discussion on Leviathan. Ultimately, the specific appearance of Leviathan remains unknown. There are currently many extinct animals, some of which perished after the 20th century. And photographs have been left behind documenting their appearance. If possible, I would like to go back to the biblical era and see what Leviathan looked like. Thank you for watching until the end. If you'd like, please consider subscribing to the channel.